It's day 2 of the FIFA Futsal World Cup here in Lithuania, and the teams in Group C get their campaigns underway today here in Kaunas. It's the reigning African champions Morocco taking on one of the strongest sides in Oceania, the Solomon Islands. There are 24 teams taking part in the FIFA Futsal World Cup. A Group C is an interesting one. Neither of the sides today have progressed beyond the group stage before, but there is the ability for an upset. Portugal are the standout team in the group. They were 4th in Colombia 5 years ago, while Thailand play to their own style and will be looking to better their round of 16 showing in the last edition in Colombia 5 years ago. Well, we had a great start to the tournament yesterday. Lots of goals, around 28 goals in 4 games yesterday across 2 groups. And today another 2 big matches coming up for you here at the Zalgiris Arena, the largest indoor arena in the Baltic area. Morocco have 1 or 2 supporters dotted around. I'm sure the Solomon Islands will have their supporters around as well. So they are one of the strongest teams in Oceania. Neither of these sides have fared particularly well in World Cups previously, but both feel their preparations have gone okay for this one. It's a 3rd appearance for Morocco. Made their debut in Thailand in 2012. They have now played in all 3 editions since then. 2 of the squad not featuring today, sitting up in the stands here. While the Solomon Islands, as we say, are fairly strong in Oceania. They've struggled outside the region, and they unfortunately hold the record for the biggest futsal defeat in the history of World Cup, losing 31-2 to Russia back in 2008. But it's fair to say since then they have improved significantly, and they'll feel that if they can get some points on the board early, they could be one of the surprise packages at this latest edition, the 9th edition of the FIFA Futsal World Cup. Out come the familiar sight of the 2 flags, which will prelude the teams coming out in just a moment. Teams will be announced one by one into the arena. Everybody trying to depose Argentina, of course, the defending champions who won in Colombia back in 2016. Brazil are the most successful team in the history of Futsal World Cups. Is one of these teams about to cause an upset in the latest edition? Here are the match officials. We'll introduce you those to you in just a moment or two's time, but they have a job to keep the game flowing. It is very fast-paced, of course. We do have video support, don't forget, in action for the first time at a FIFA Futsal World Cup. More about that as well as the game progresses.
And now, let's see, national team of Morocco.
This is a venue that holds around 16,000. They have a lot of Euro basketball here. Here come the Moroccan team. Lots of experience here. A lot of these players played in the last World Cup in Colombia. El Mazraoui, who wears the captain's armband, played in the last 2 editions of this competition. Saad Kania is one of 7 players that play for Mohammedia in Morocco. Bilal Bakali is another player that played in Colombia 2016. Chiari will be the starting goalkeeper. The squads have been increased to 16 players for this competition due to the COVID situation. Of course, only 14 players in a World Cup squad. A couple of extra players, though, getting the chance here. And the last man to make his way out, Khalid Bouzid, who plays in Spain.
Now let's meet national.
So here come the Solomon Islands.
Solomon Islands.
Looking forward to getting their campaign underway. Captain is Celiot Ragomo, who's the first man out to join that lineup. He was the real hero in the qualifying campaign. Anthony Tallow, he'll be the man to beat between the posts. Charlie Otter now just going through the picture. Number 8 there, Jeffrey Boulay, plays for Maris Fire, one of a number of players that play for the Maris Fire club. I've got they are all Solomon Island based World Cup squad. And the numbers made up by Rafael Leah as the Solomon Islands line up, and time for the two national anthems.
Anthem of Morocco. Ponios ir ponai, prašome atsistoti, skambės Maroko himnas. For the national anthem of Solomon Islands, likime stovėti, skambės Lemono salų himnas.
Always an emotional moment hearing your national anthem at a World Cup, whatever the level. Pierluigi Collina, the head of referees for FIFA, is here again. No doubt keeping an eye on how video support is working. Here are the lineups. Redi Kayara, the starting keeper for Morocco. Ashraf Sood, he's one of two forwards that will start. He scored 4 in qualifying. El Mesrar is making his 3rd appearance, while Bilal Bakli featured in Colombia 5 years ago. And 9 of those players are allowed to be used off the bench. Unlimited substitutes, of course. Youssef El Masri is the captain, starting down among the substitutes today. And a couple of players left out of the squad. Khalid Bouzid wears number 15, the man from Santa Coloma in Spain. So Anthony Tallow made his debut in 2012 in Thailand. Alvin Ho was part of the side in Colombia. George Stevenson is one of the newcomers in the side. Jeffrey Boulay also makes a World Cup debut, and there's Michaela Lilafar, who plays as a winger. Captain also on the bench today, not in the starting lineup. Celiot Ragomo Alvin Ray plays as a forward for Maris Fire, one of the popular clubs in the Solomon Islands. And Ellis Mana wears number 13. Match officials: Daniel Rodriguez from Uruguay, Christian Espindola from Chile, while Henry Gutierrez is the third referee, and Valeria Palma from Chile, the timekeeper. Hisham Goig is the Morocco coach, while the Solomon Islands have a Brazilian at the helm, one of the most promising and up-and-coming young coaches in futsal at the moment. Can he help his side on to victory in their opening match? There is the man with the beard, Vinicius de Carvalho. So Group C about to get underway here in Kaunas. Top 2 teams in each group go through, plus the 4 best third-place finishers from the 6 groups. So just 8 teams will exit at the group stage. Both these sides have achieved that feat in all their previous World Cup campaigns. With them both being in the same group here, something could give, and one of them could well find themselves into the round of 16. All about getting off to a positive start. A win in your opening game can stand you in very good stead for your remaining group games, especially with Portugal and Thailand in the group as well.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go!
So it is the Solomon Islands in green that get us underway. We'll kick from right to left in the first period. 20-minute periods, don't forget, the clock stops every time the ball goes out of play. We will get a full 20 minutes of action. Futsal is fast and furious, it's exciting, it's skillful. And straight away there's a chance for Morocco to get an early shot in on goal. Bakali firing wide of the target. Was that a good opening for him? And who played in Colombia in 2016. Fist across the face of goal, so shots at both ends. One win in just 10 previous Futsal World Cup matches for the Solomon Islands. That win came in Thailand in 2012 when they beat Guatemala in a tight game by 4 goals to 3. Morocco have lost all 6 of their previous games in finals. Early foul on Saud. Man who excelled in the qualifying campaign. It was a clumsy challenge. Just look out for those accumulated fouls as well, don't forget. If either team reaches 5, then from number 6 onwards there would be a free shot from the second penalty spot, which is that dot you can see there about 10 metres from goal. El Mesra. Saud. Just a slip right on the edge of the penalty area by Stevenson. Well, 2 of the players just losing their footing a little at the moment. Stevenson in again, Saud with a challenge. Will be a kick into the Solomon Islands. Hisham Goig there, the Moroccan coach, says hard work is the key to their continental successes. Put together a 4-year plan that helped them win the Cup of Nations in 2016. El Mesra. Saud. Kania gives the ball away, and Stevenson arriving. Managed to get an early shot in. A clumsy error at the back. It was an unforced error. Played it back across his own goal. Kania is a little fortunate to get away with that. George Stevenson, the man coming in. World Cup debut for him. To Kania. Nice play, El Mesra in on goal again, and slips the ball beyond Anthony Tallow for the opening goal of the game. So it's taken Morocco just under 2 minutes to take the lead. Lovely finish by Sofan El Mesra.
And the goal scored by number 10, El Mesra.
As Melra putting Morocco in front. Not the start the Solomon Islands were particularly looking for. Morocco have won the last two Africa Cup of Nations in 2016 and 2010 in terms of the futsal edition of that tournament. Vinicius on the sidelines. Vini, as he's affectionately known. Vinicius de Carvalho from Brazil. 30 places difference in the FIFA rankings between these two. Boulet. Stevenson. Possession given away once again. Saud. El Mesra. Saud continued his run. It's one thing to watch for in futsal, it's the movement off the ball, that little injection of pace that can cause a little bit of space. Players constantly on the move. El Mesra with a goal by Vorde. Tallow at the back, but can't keep the ball out, and Saud gets a second goal for Morocco. Nobody picked him up, he was all on his own. It evaded Tallow once again. And Ashraf Saud, who scored 4 goals in the qualifying tournament, gets another one here, just out of the reach of Tallow. Good ball in by Bakali. Solomon Islands already find themselves chasing the game. Less than 3 minutes gone in the opening half. Sia. Kinnear just able to shepherd that back to his goalkeeper, Chiari. El Mesra. So you will constantly see the personnel changing as well. It's a fast-moving game. We've got 4 Moroccan players waiting to come on at the moment. This is Kinnear. El Mesra. Ball into the gap for El Mesra once again. It's Bakali. Bakali again. Tallow equal to it this time. There wasn't a huge amount of pace in the shot. Three teams from the African region competing here. Angola, who are making their tournament debuts. Egypt, who are Morocco's big rivals. Six of the squad played in Colombia 5 years ago. Just 2, El Masre and El Mesra, played in Thailand 9 years ago. Here is El Masre. Where's the captain's armband? Seven players play for the same club as well, Mohammedia. So they'll be familiar with each other. El Masre. Solomon Islands can't get a touch of the ball at the moment. It's very good technical play from Morocco, keeping possession. That's El Feni. El Masre again. Bumuz. Gathered comfortably by Anthony Tallow. Comes off Boumous, and fortunately for Solomon Islands, it went wide. Almost 70% possession for Morocco in these opening 5.5 minutes. Hicham Goik, who's played a pivotal role in coaching in Morocco. Took over the training of the coaches at the Moroccan Federation as a FIFA instructor, the head of training in Africa. Man who's accrued a great deal of futsal knowledge over the years. Here come his side once again, looking for a third goal. That's Boumous just in behind Ras El Feni. Boumous. Some of the good ball forward. Tallow just got a touch on it, and they find a positive touch in the centre. Now the Solomon Islands might be able to break away here. That will be a kick in. Pulled aside from Oceana. Ho was the man trying to drive that across for the run of Sia. Coming together between Borit and Sia. It's Tallow who tries his luck from the halfway line, the goalkeeper. Made some important saves in that penalty shootout to help them beat New Zealand in the Oceania qualifying. Actually made his debut in the 2012 World Cup, 11-3 loss to the host nation Colombia. He's firmly established as the main goalkeeper now. There are 3 goalkeepers in each squad. El Mesra. Tallow just hesitated slightly, but his defenders did the job in front of him. Vinicius there is also the technical director of Galaxy FC in Australia. He was assistant coach for the Australians at the AMF World Cup in 2019. Leofala. That was Ragomo, the captain, straight into the arms of Chiari. Hasn't had too much to do, the Moroccan goalkeeper so far. Foul by Saud. De Lafa. It's Ragomo. Lafa. Kania. Good play again by Morocco. Just a little too much on that for Saud to try and keep the ball in play. Hisham Goig will keep rotating his players. It's interesting watching the two different warm-ups from the two teams. Morocco focusing very much on quick passing in a small area of the pitch, while Solomon Islands were focusing on their shooting and keeping the goalkeepers working. Maybe a kick into Morocco. Solomon Islands trailing here by 2 early goals as Mesra and Saud. Tallow had to be on his mark there to deny Al Mesra a second. Good save by the goalkeeper. Set piece didn't quite work out for Morocco on that occasion. We do see some cleverly worked set pieces. It's one of the features of the game, if you can find that little bit of space just to try and outfox your opponents. Already seen some quality goals on the opening day of action yesterday. As we said, 28 goals in 4 matches yesterday. RFU, the Russian Football Union, were the big winners. They beat Egypt by 9-0. It's gone out of Tallow for the corner. Al Mesra. Stabbed forward by Eliane, but out of play. It's got quite an interesting theory, Hisham Goig, as to why Morocco have never made it through to a knockout stage in this competition. The lack of an African Champions League at club level. It means that there's no real competition against other sides from the region. Feels that would make them stronger. A lot of other countries do have a Champions League system. Eliane trying to weave a way through. Better defending there by the Solomon Islands. It's Bakali. Now Mesra. Bakali, good save, Tallow. Well, he hits it well, and Anthony Tallow makes a great save. Plenty of pace on that. Good save by the goalkeeper. So a bit of pressure from the corner there, but it sails over everybody and out of play. He's an outstanding player in his playing career in his day, Vinicius de Carvalho. Focusing on his coaching these days. So we're over halfway through the first period. Morocco leading by 2-0. Not too much in an attacking sense in terms of threat from the Solomon Islands. They have had a few shots which have been wide or high of the target. Kania, Eliane, Bakali. Mazrae. Bumuz. Borit. Stuck back inside their own half at the moment. It's a good positive run there from Rassel Fennick. Might be a break on here for Sia. Strong challenge. It'll be a foul by Mana. So a second foul in this first half goes against the Solomon Islands. Bit of space in the penalty area there for Burit, but trying to lay that one back instead of turning and shooting himself. He was trying to set up El Mazrae, the captain. They have set up the shot for Bumuz. Good save by Tallo low down. Had to react quickly to that one. So a couple of important saves in the last few minutes for Anthony Tallo in the Solomon Islands goal. No saves needed at the moment from his opposite number. That was Otter now firing over Chiari's goal. Shows the strength of growth in futsal over the years. Initially, 8 countries bid to host this event. Of course, it was scheduled originally for 2020. Several of those countries did drop out, and it was Lithuania eventually that was awarded its first ever FIFA tournament. Kaunas, Vilnius and Klaipėda, the three cities rather, that are hosting these games. We'll have the semi-finals and the finals here. Final just under 3 weeks away. Games coming up thick and fast in the first few days. 4 games a day through the group stage. Boulay just trying to get in behind Rassel Fennick. Did well though, good strength to shepherd that back to his goalkeeper. Here's again Rassel Fennick. El Mazrae, Burit. Held on to the ball well at times. Just as I say that, put the curse on El Mazrae. Mana. Sia. Solomon Islands have just lacked a cutting edge in this opening period so far. The keeper's only had to make one save. He might be called upon here, but again, it's just wide of the target from Osafello. Sia on the break. Good challenge by Jaoud. A great challenge. Gets it back from Bouziouzan. And another shot. She's blocked right in front of goal. It may have hit his own man in front of goal. It was Jaoud that was in front of the goalkeeper. Ragomo. Sia. Ragomo bundled in the back by Bouziouzan. Timeout called by the Solomon Islands. Each team gets one timeout in each half. Vinicius opting to use his now with his side on the ball and a free kick and a chance to put some pressure on.
Target is coming in the middle of the board here. Yeah? Make Morocco back. How much space we've got? Hey, this side. How much space we've got behind. So I want the target as deep as possible. Leave this player here. The pass will get to him. Yeah? If he's not here down the line, no, he's staying here. If you cover him, you reduce the playing stuff. And not in the center. Playing. Yeah? So that ball can go from here. Volante, drop first time. Force him to run back. Yeah? Then we can start and organize again from here. Done. We're away from our goal. Yes? At the moment, we're concentrating too much on our half and then running the rest of the goal. Yes? Hey, forget about the score. I don't care about the score. That's me long. Yes?
Oh, interesting to hear Vinicius' thoughts there as he gave his instructions to his team. You see him saying, don't worry about the score. I want us to play the way we know we can play. Here are the goals that have put Morocco into a 2-0 lead. El Mesra and Saud. Saud has got goals in him, say 4 in the qualifying campaign. El Mesra, vastly experienced. It's a good mix in the Moroccan side, assembled by Hisham Goig. So Solomon Islands with a free kick. 6:02 to go in the opening period. It's Macau. Now Rigomo. See if they take the words on board from their experienced coach. El Mesra. Just putting a bit of pressure on and forcing Morocco into a couple of unforced errors. That's what the coach was talking about. Don't worry about the opposition, play your own game. Tallo trying to get his side moving forward. It's a good ball out to Macau. Lilafala. Macau. Shot from Ho. Just kept in play by El Mesra. Saud. No foul is the shout from Rigomo, the captain, but the referee over on that far side disagreed. So that's a third accumulated foul now against the Solomon Islands. Still got 5 minutes to go in this opening period as well. Saud's a handful. Rigomo becomes the first player to be yellow carded in the match. See what Morocco can do from the free kick. Bakali is over the ball. Bakali might try and put his foot through this one. He does put his foot through it, but it goes out off Rigomo for a corner. The second corner of the game, it was a well-worked one as well. It was well saved by Tallo from Kania. And who took the corner, finding the ball back at his feet. Good block by Anthony Tallo. Bakali. Driven over the top. Disappointed they're allowing a little bit of space for the Moroccans at the moment. We've seen how threatening they can be in front of goal. Kinnear across again to take the corner. Saud. El Mesra. Bakali. Well cut out by Macau. Now there might be a chance for the Solomon Islands. Kuru, as their nickname is. Lilafala. It's over the top. He was looking for the run of Ho down that far side, but slightly misplaced. Sia's back on again, as is Boulet. Here's Kinnear. El Mesra. It's a good ball in behind. He's gone right across. And so should have scored. Worked in behind the Solomon Islands defence. El Mesra with the ball across. Saud will be disappointed not to have hit the target. A man usually so prolific in front of goal. Lila Fala. Ho. Boulet. Not taking the kick in quickly enough to Solomon Islands, so possession turns over to Morocco. 4 seconds to take a kick in. That's Alfeni. That's Alfeni just been pegged back at the moment. They played themselves out of trouble well, Morocco. Nice little interchange of passes. It almost finds its way through. Sia with an important interception because Boumous was in on goal. Kept in by Ras Alfeni. Oh, another shot goes through the goalkeeper this time. Anthony Tallo, who made a couple of fine saves earlier on, immediately puts his head in his hands. It's an error by the goalkeeper. And it's 3-0 to Morocco. Ras Alfeni gets their third goal before the end of the first period. Tough on the goalkeeper. Was straight at him. He'll be disappointed not to have got a clean contact on that one. Ras Alfeni gets his first goal of the tournament. Lila Fala almost caught in possession. Boumous couldn't capitalise though. Sia again, good quick footwork. Just had his way off, blocked by Ras Alfeni. Morocco have gone about their business efficiently in this first half. Solomon Islands have had 12 shots in this first half. They've only managed to hit the target twice. That's a pretty telling stat, really. It's Morocco, they're living far economical in front of goal. Inside the final 2 minutes then of the first period. Morocco comfortably in charge at the moment, 3-0 over the Solomon Islands. Borit. Good running again, Ras Alfeni. Just pulls the ball wide. Sia trying to burst through again, but everywhere you look, there's a red shirt blocking the way. Jaoud. Ras Alfeni. Somehow that stays out. They look for all the world as though Morocco would get a fourth there, but the ball has managed somehow to stay out of the net. Morocco keeping the pressure on at the end of the first half. It's too far ahead of Jaoud. Great work initially. Turned onto the post, I think, by the goalkeeper, Tallow, making amends for his error a moment or so ago from El Masra's shot. El Masra with a kick in. Driven across and right in front of goal. It was a bit high for Barit, but he should still have tried to just bundle it over the line. He tried to get a foot on it to get a clean contact. Just, well, was slightly behind him, in fairness. Another chance goes begging for Morocco. Selfeni. Jode, a little bit of space, and another save by Tallow. It's been a mixed half for the Solomon Islands goalkeeper. Buyazan denied by Tallow that time, having let one go through a few moments ago from Idris Rizal Feni. So Morocco give possession away. It's a Solomon Islands free kick. Is there another goal in this before the half-time break? Barit. And an open goal, a brilliant clearance. Combination of Tallow and Rigomo got back to keep that one out. Well, he just saw the goalkeeper out of position. That had 4-0 written all over it, but a brilliant recovery. And there goes the hooter to bring us to the end of the first half. Well, Morocco pretty much controlled things. They scored 2 early goals in that first half. El Mesra and Saoud putting them in charge. Took them a while before they could make it 3, but Ras El Fennick managing to get the goal just a couple of minutes before the end of that first half. And at the break, it's Morocco 3, the Solomon Islands 0. So plenty for the Solomon Islands to talk about at half-time as they try to come up with a way to unlock this very good Moroccan defence. They did manage 12 shots in that first half, just 2 of them hitting the target. The Lion is a little toothless at the moment for Morocco. So here are the stats from that first half. Morocco had plenty more of the ball, 20 shots, 11 on target. They were much more economical in front of goal. 8 saves made by Anthony Tallow. We can probably forgive that one that slipped through to make it 3-0. Just the 2 saves made by Chiari in the Moroccan goal. Just 3 fouls each in that first half. That clock will reset at the start of the second half, and the 1 yellow card for the Solomon Islands captain, Elliot Rigomo. Confirmation of the scorers: Soufiane El Mesra, Ashraf Saoud and Idris Ras El Fenni, putting Morocco in control at half-time.
defines what goes beyond the norm. And the way to get there is far from ordinary. You must leave nothing untried to reach further. Make things better and bring the future closer to today. Rhoda's family of electrified SUVs is here. On to better.
We've been awarded the world's best airline of 2021, but it's more than an award for being the only global airline to continue.
For today's match.
So day 2 in Canis, and the opening matches in Group C, as Morocco took on the Solomon Islands, two sides who'd failed to get past the group stages in their previous World Cup participations. Both had a few supporters dotted around the venue. Could the Solomon Islands cause an upset in the opening game? It was they that got us underway, but it was Morocco that started the brighter of the two teams. Managing to do some defending there as Stevenson came in and almost latched onto an error. Didn't take the Moroccans long to take the lead. Soufiane El Mesra, one of the more experienced members in the side, 3 World Cups for him and a goal in Lithuania to open up his side's account in this edition. Ashraf Saud was the top scorer in qualifying for them with 4 goals. He was on the mark again. It was set up by Bakali. Relatively simple finish. The ball just out of the reach of Anthony Tallo in the Solomon Islands goal. And that was the pattern that followed. Tallo made a fine stop to keep his goal intact. It was Bakali who'd set up that second goal with a shot. Only a couple of times did they hit the target in the first half. Solomon Islands, they weren't hitting the mark with their shots. Osofelo that time firing wide. It was the Solomon Islands defence that were very much on the back foot. Another great shot from El Mesra, tipped over by Tallo, who was kept busy in that first half. 8 saves he made in the first half, but the one he should have kept out, he couldn't. It slipped straight through his legs, and Ras El Feni had a 3rd goal for Morocco just 2 minutes before half-time, and that's the goal that's put them in control at the halfway point. They pressed right to the end, almost had another. Tallo just managed to turn the ball onto the post. Welcome back to Kaunas. Teams have had 15 minutes to reflect on the opening period of the game, which saw Morocco dominant. Solomon Islands managed just 2 shots on target. They trail here by 3-0. Morocco have never won a game in their 6 previous attempts at a Futsal World Cup. The Solomon Islands haven't fared much better, just the 1 win for them over Guatemala in 2012. They lost all 3 games in 2016. Can they get themselves back into the game in the second half? El Mesra, Saud and Ras El Feni with the goals. Officials just checking which 5 players will be starting the second period. So the Solomon Islands didn't dribble Chiari, the goalkeeper, much in that first 20-minute period. We do still have the same goalkeepers in, Anthony Tallow and his opposite number, Rida Chiari. So Morocco get us underway for the second half in the red shirts. There's a flick from Saud, which would have been pretty audacious right at the start of the second half. Just a nonchalant little flick, and it's just gone wide of the target. Would have been one of the cheekiest goals we've seen in the opening round of matches. Osafello. Boulay. Osafello. So might have just picked up a knock. He's already calling for a substitution, and that doesn't look good at all for Saud. Whether that can't be something as serious as an Achilles injury, possibly the way he's sort of limped off the field and literally just fallen over the sidelines. A lot of pain at the moment. You just seem wincing pain. We'll keep an eye on that. The last thing that Morocco would want is to lose one of their key players in their opening match. El Mesra. Kania. Bakali. El Mesra. Good shape from the Solomon Islands at the moment, just making sure that Morocco are struggling to get out to their own half. Just kept in by Bakali. Those accumulated fouls, by the way, are cancelled out at half-time. They had been on 3 each at the end of the first half, but we're back to 0 again. Both sides have got a timeout available to them in this second period, and of course, 1 challenge for video support. If you're successful, you can have unlimited challenges. If you are unsuccessful, then you lose the right to challenge again. Here's El Mesra. 2 in front of him. He's a tricky talent when he's on the ball. El Mesra somehow managed to get the shot in, and Kania on the rebound. Good play by Bakali. Managed to keep his arm out of the way. Pacey start to this second half. Tallow pushes the ball wide of the post. Just be a brief stoppage while the goals are repositioned back on the goal line. That was the initial one, pushed away from Tallow by Bakali. It's going to be a Morocco corner. So Morocco would have been pleased when the draw was made that they managed to avoid Iran and Spain. They've been in the group with them in the previous 2 editions. Azerbaijan made up the 14 group in 2016, Panama in 2012. Driven right the way across goal, and somehow Jout's managed to fail to make contact with that. He should have just nudged the ball in, just under his foot. Great chance. Yeah, with the top 2 in each group plus the 4 best third-place finishers going through, if you can get 3 points in your opening game, it stands you in very good stead for a round of 16 play. So I'm sure that's the way Morocco will be looking at this. Just take a little bit of pressure off their next 2 games. They do play Thailand next and then Portugal in their final game. El Mesra, Bakali just overruns it, and you can see the frustration from Bilal Bakali. Hisham Goig, the coach, does view Portugal as the favourites for this tournament. So they always reach the semi-finals. Sporting are the reigning European champions. They're a good sporting representation within the Portugal lineup, because they have got the mercurial Ricardinho as well. We'll see Portugal in action a little bit later on when they start their campaign against Thailand. At the moment, though, Morocco, with 3 minutes gone in this second period, still lead the Solomon Islands comfortably by 3-0. Well taken by Tallow. Just out of the reach of Lila Fala. That's El Feni. Now El Mesra. Bumuz. Burit. Masray. That's El Feni. Ball spins up for Tallow to make the save. It was straight at him. Good build-up play again from Morocco, though. Kicking goes the Solomon Islands way. It'll be taken by Lila Fala. So all these Solomon Island players to play futsal within their own country. Sky clearance by Burit, and a rare shot on target for Sia. Chiari had his body right behind it. Marlon Sia caught it well enough, but Chiari had his positioning just right. Ras El Feni. El Masray. That's right, back across, it's the inside of the post, and another chance for Morocco. Barit again. Inside of the post and away. It was a brilliantly worked effort. Macau signing in, couldn't get a challenge. Shake of the head from Barit again. Another good chance for Morocco at the start of this second half. Did win the Arab Futsal Championship a little earlier on this year, Morocco. They beat Egypt 4-0 in the final. 16 goals scored, just 2 conceded in the tournament. They saw off UAE, Saudi Arabia and Koromos in the group stages. 6-0 win over Bahrain in the semi-finals. They also beat Egypt in the final of the Futsal Cup of Nations as well, the last edition of that in 2020. Solomon Islands themselves, as we mentioned earlier, are the Oceania champions. They beat New Zealand in the final on penalties. Anthony Tallow was the hero. He won the Golden Glove, their goalkeeper, in the tournament. Marcel Fenning, Naburi. Very much in control, Morocco, at the moment. They're in control of their passing. There's a pace about the where they play the ball around we haven't seen from the Solomon Islands. Bit of space here for Rassel Fenny, straight at Tallow. 28th shot on goal now for Morocco. Barit. Just the occasional error on the end of a passing move has clumsily given their possession away. It will be a Solomon Islands kick-in. Spin away for a corner. Go for another corner. It was Alvin Ho with a shot. Another shot blocked before it could cause any damage. Bumu's this time getting his body in the way. Can they make one of these efforts count? Solomon Islands. Lost their opening match to Costa Rica 5 years ago by 4-2. The only game they failed to score in was a 10-0 defeat to Kazakhstan in their final group game. Kinnear. El Mesra. Bakali, brilliant feet. That's what futsal's all about. Quick control, quick turn, and a shot on the turn at pace to beat Tallow. And he's deserved a goal. He's had a couple of chances in that first half. Keeper made a couple of good saves, but Bilal Bakali not to be denied his goal. And it's 4-0 to Morocco. Anthony Tallow, I think, wants his defenders to close down a little bit quicker, but you can't legislate for that. Brilliant quick feet. It's a different skill set in this game compared to the 11-a-side football. There is one player that, well, there are several players rather that played the Futsal World Cups and went on to play in the FIFA World Cup. 19 players, in fact, altogether. The best known of them was Denmark's Brian Laudrup, who played in the Netherlands in the inaugural Futsal World Cup. He also played for the Netherlands in France '98. Still, the Solomon Islands can't find a way through. Coleman Macau going wide that time. Bakali, the man who scored the goal a moment or so ago, runs into Ho. El Mesra. Stabbed away in the corner by El Mesra. It is a kick in, not a corner. Osafello. Fine save by Chiari. That's the best save he's had to make so far. Curl goalwards by Samuel Osafello. Rida Chiari was equal to it. Another effort blocked behind for another corner. Bit of pressure here from the Solomon Islands. Still got just over 11 minutes to go in the match. So Morocco take on Thailand in their next game. Solomon Islands have the unenviable task of playing the Portuguese. Kania, lovely ball, El Mesra. Kania. Good ball. Talo with a save. Meliane. Great movement off the ball to find himself some space. Talo equal to it. Despite the fact he's conceded 4 goals, he has made some very good saves. Be a corner off Mana. Got a good ball, Bakali. Solomon Islands were zonal marking, making life a little bit more difficult for the Moroccans to find some space in the penalty area. Juad. Mesra almost caught in possession, just managed to redeem himself. Chiari. Juad. Goalkeeper's come out well. Talo that time. There's a trip by Osafello, and that will be a yellow card. Second yellow card, then he joins his captain, Elliot Ragomo, in the book.
For number 10,
Samuel Osafello. So a third accumulated foul of this second half now against the Solomon Islands. As the man who was just booked. And a mixed day for Anthony Tallow in the Solomon Islands goal. Oh, brilliant finish. Boumous only needed a sight of goal and stabbed home beyond Anthony Tallow to make it 5-0. Looking comfortable now for Morocco. Boumous has seen plenty of the ball, played his part. It's his third shot on goal. It's just gone out of play from Mailuma. So 5 goals, 5 different scorers for Morocco so far. Ras El Fenny. Fourth foul against Solomon Islands. Still 9 minutes to go. Ras El Fenny. El Mesra. He's the oldest player in the team, on the squad, Yusuf El Mesra, 34 years of age. Through looking for Boury. Tallow. He's out of his goal. That's tucked back towards El Masri. Hisham Goig taking charge of a third Futsal World Cup for Morocco. Oh, that's given away, and another chance for the man who scored a moment or so ago. Boumous just be forced a little bit wide by the goalkeeper and given away to Mana. Lilafala. Who? Oh, given away again clumsily, El Masri. Ras El Fenny. El Masri's in the middle. It's just gone out of play. Well, the counter-attack almost paid dividends there for Morocco. Boumous wasn't aware that Ho was behind him. Out of play. Once again from Bouzid. Sia. Blocked again by Bouzid. Boumous. Bouzid, angles tight. Sliding challenge from Lilafa. Hits the same man right in front of goal. Now Sia. Forced out wide, showed too much of it to Borit. 3-on-2 at the moment. Bouzid went for the side foot, a cross goal, and the corner conceded by Boulay. Doesn't sure who was behind him. Boumous. Borit. Good run from Bouzid to get the other side of Sia, but the pass just overhit slightly. Still full of running, the Moroccans, despite the fact they lead by 5 goals to 0. Buzid. Buyazan. Borit. Buzid. Nice quick feet, tried to lift it over the goalkeeper, but just lifts it over the bar as well. Challenge from Lelafa had to be certain with that one. So the next foul would be the 5th accumulated foul. Buzid. That's Alfeni. Buzid. Gets to the byline, goalkeeper just lost it. Fortunately, goes behind for a corner. Stung the fingers, that one, of Anthony Tallow. Nice play. Borit! Well-worked goal. Rassel Feli, the provider. And Soufiane Borit gets goal number 6 for Morocco. Had a couple of chances earlier on, which he wasn't able to take, but he has taken this one. And Morocco's dominance of the game goes on. Timeout called by Solomon Islands. Let's have a listen and see what we can hear what Vinicius has got to say in the timeout.
We're still not putting pressure on the ball carrier, still marking level with him. We got to show them one way. If we cut that player out of the game, that means we can concentrate more players on a side that has what? 3. If we stay level with him, it can go either way. It can go here, it can go there. And once they go there, that's it. And there's one-on-one. That can be fixed a little bit more aggressive on the ball. Must be uncomfortable, must be pressed. Yes, must force the error. Anybody can play in time and space. Anybody. And that's what they're doing. A little bit more. So you're going to work half about 5 seconds. Then you're going to pass the ball away. Somebody else is going to work half about 5 seconds.
They're defending too deep. The message from Vinicius. Need to stop pressing a little bit more. There's Saud, the man who picked up that injury. Heavy strapping and an ice pack on that at the moment. They'll hope that's nothing too serious. So 6-0 Morocco lead. Solomon Islands to get us back underway again. 6:05 left in the game. It's been a very good pressing display by Morocco, who, despite the fact that Vinicius says they're playing too deep, Morocco have pressed. It's been very difficult for them to get any forward motion at times. 36 shots on goal for Morocco. "19 have hit the target. El Mesra. Bakali. Movement by El Mesra. Kania. El Mesra. Tallow saves with his legs. Thought that one was heading for the bottom corner once again. He just managed to stick a leg out there, Anthony Tallow. Still the danger's not passed on the volley from Bakali. Just past the post. Another shot on goal.
And tonight's attendance, 340 amazing fans.
Kania. Sia playing a dangerous game on the edge of their own penalty area, the Solomon Islands. They've got away with it, though. This will be a real confidence booster for the Moroccans. El Mesra. Kania. El Mesra. Thought about the shot. Seemed in two minds there, whether to hit that first time or take a touch. In the end, he was neither one thing nor the other. Will be a Solomon Islands kick in. Tallow. Play the ball towards Ray. Kania. Bakali. Foul by Morocco. It's a rare one for them in the second half. Haven't committed too many fouls. It's just their fourth foul in the game. Can the Solomon Islands get on the score sheet? 3:37 to go once the clock restarts again. Tussle going on the edge of the penalty area. Oh, that's driven high over the top by Rigomo. Took a yellow card in the first half, the captain. Morocco still have the bit between their teeth as they go for more goals. Here's Bakali. El Mesra, Bakali. Nice play again from Morocco, switching the ball around. Laid back by Jaoud. Kania. Tallow's come out of his box well, just got there before Kania. Oh, good skills again, El Mesra. Can't finish though. Scored that goal very early on to get the scoring underway. Soufiane El Mesra hasn't managed to get a second. 6 goals, 6 different goal scorers from Morocco. I'm sure that will please the coach. Ball control by Rigomo. A lack of understanding a little bit there, lack of communication between Tallow and co. Hisham Goig, though, his side have done a job. Didn't have the best of preparations in 2016 after a car accident left several players injured and him in a wheelchair for a while, unable to walk for a while. Didn't have any warm-up games in 2016 either. But he did say they were much better prepared for this tournament, and that's been in evidence by what we've seen so far with 2:20 to go in their first game. El Mesra. Kania. Bakali. Back across goal. Tallow just pushed it away from El Mesra. Giving possession back again to Kania. Kinnear's one who probably feels he deserves a goal for all his endeavours. Bakali has been on the score sheet, got the 4th goal at the start of the second half. El Mesra. Bakali. Kinnear. Was given away clumsily again. Bakali, and a great chance for Kinnear to get his goal, and pulls it across the face of goal. Just lacking that little bit of composure with the finish. And Morocco, well, when they look back at the highlights, they'll certainly feel they should have had more than the 6 they've scored already. 41 shots, that was 42. 21 of them have hit the target, and they're still pressing. That comes off Stevenson. Sides play every 3 days in the group stage, so Solomon Islands with a couple of days to go away and regroup before they plot about taking on Portugal. El Masri with the kick in. Borit. Marcel Fene. Borit again. Bumuz. El Masri. Borit. El Masri. It's a good cross. There was nobody following in the middle, though. He thought Bumuz might be inside the area. I've got a corner, though, Morocco. Final 30 seconds on the volley. Borit just wide. Ho. Mana. There's a bit of conferring here between the referees. Going to be a drop ball in favour of the Solomon Islands. Ho. Chiari quickly out of his goal. Fellow. Tallow. Oh, send to the foot of Ho. And that could be the last chance that the Solomon Islands have of at least getting themselves a consolation in the game. Rassel Fennick. There goes the hooter. Morocco finally have their first win at a Futsal World Cup finals, and a comprehensive one it's been as well. 6 different scorers, Borit among them. El Masri led by example, the experienced man in his 3rd World Cup. Tallow made a couple of important saves, but was well beaten on a number of occasions. Full time in the opening game in Group C. It's finished Morocco 6, Solomon Islands 0. Well, no joy for Vinicius. They'll be in action again in 3 days' time, of course. Morocco will play Thailand, while Portugal will be the opponents for the Solomon Islands, who've still won just the 1 game at a Futsal World Cup finals. But Morocco finally getting that win they so richly deserved today El Mesra, Saud, Ras El Feni, Bakali, Boumous and Barit all on the score sheet. There was an injury though to Saud, which is a slight concern for the coach Hisham Goig. And they'll see how that is ahead of the next match. But 3 points here with 2 teams automatically going through and 4 of the best third-place teams. 3 points could well be enough, although they will want to, of course, pick up more points along the way. But a little bit of pressure. There is Saud, who he's back on his feet, still has an ice pack strapped to his ankle, though. So we'll have to see if that proves to be decisive in making his appearance.
انا نهضر بالعربيه. فوز تاريخي اليوم، اول انتصار ديال المنتخب المغربي في نهائي كاس العالم. كيفاش كتشوف هذا الفوز هذا؟
الحمد لله، كان من الواجب علينا اننا نربحوا اول نقاط ديالنا في كاس العالم. بالفعل هذا فوز تاريخي، مشاركه الثالثه على التوالي. هادو اول 3 نقاط تنكسبوهم الحمد لله. دابا جا الوقت باش نساو هذه المباراه ونركزوا على المباراه الثانيه.
كيفاش كتكمل مجريات المباراه؟
المباراة رغم ذلك كانت صعبة، لأنهم كانت هذا هو المباراة اللي تتبان لنا فاصلة ما بين جوج فريقين اللي مصنفين في الصنف الثالث والرابع. الحمد لله حنا مشينا بهدوء، دبرنا أمورنا في الشوط الأول وكذلك فرضنا السيطرة ديالنا في الشوط الثاني. فكنتمنى التوفيق للفريق جزر السلومون، ودابا جا التركيز على المباراة ديال تايلاند إن شاء الله. أوكي، ثانك يو.
اوكي سفيان، اليوم حققنا العلامه 3-0 6-0. مباراه كانت صعبه شويه في الاول، الحمد لله حققنا نتيجه ايجابيه. كيفاش كتشوف هذه النتيجه هذه؟
النتيجه الحمد لله كانت مستحقه بحكم اننا استعدينا لهذه المباراه ولهذا كاس العالم 4 سنوات وحنا كنستعدوا. كما تعرف الجميع المباراه الاولى تكون ديما صعبه. الحمد لله استطعنا نتحكموا في النسق ديال المباراه، استطعنا نتحكموا في النسق ونفوزوا بالمباراه بنتيجه مريحه. مازال ما حسمناش التاهل، مازال تابعنا مباراتين قويتين ضد المنتخب التايلاندي والمنتخب البرتغالي. نحاولوا ان شاء الله، عندنا مباراه نهائيه ضد منتخب تايلاند باش نتاهلوا للدور الثاني. الدراري عارفين المسؤوليه اللي عليهم، والحمد لله حنا فرحانين باول 3 نقاط في تاريخ المغرب في كاس العالم. الحمد لله حنا فخورين بهاد 3 بوان، وان شاء الله صافي.
Yes, coach, opening match in the group stage. Unfortunately, a defeat, but your overall thoughts of the performance from the boys today?
Yeah, so we knew this would be a tough game. Actually, all 3 games are going to be tough. This is the World Cup. Yeah, we're not playing a backyard tournament or a Sunday tournament. We're playing against the best players and best teams in the world. Everybody deserves to be here. We deserve to be here. We qualified through our confederation, but a lot needs to change for us in order to be competitive. Yes, we've participated in the last 4 editions of the World Cup, but a lot has to be done at home. The development needs to be improved, not the preparation for the World Cup. So these players need to go back to their country and play in a national league and keep on developing for the 3 years to come. Then we can prepare for the qualifiers, and then qualify. We will come back stronger. So hopefully with the finishing of the stadium back home, we can achieve that goal to come to the World Cup and not just participate but be competitive. But so the boys play their hearts out. So Morocco is a quality team. It's always tough to play them. There's no need to say and comment about the reason why they are the African champions. But like, it is what it is. Congratulations to that team, and we'll focus on the next game. Good. Thank you.
Elliot, you've been here before, another opening defeat for the boys, but looking at the next game, how do you think your boys will respond?
I think we just need to go back, refocus on the next game, and just work on a lot of things. And I think we try and improve the next game and try and do our best against Portugal.
So here are the stats from that big win for Morocco in the opening game in Group C. They dominated the ball really from start to finish. 43 shots on goal, 22 on target. Just the 4 on target from the Solomon Islands, who are still looking for their first goal in this edition. 16 saves made by Anthony Tallow, despite the fact he was beaten 6 times. 7 fouls accumulated down at the bottom, and a couple of yellow cards against the Solomon Islands too. Confirmation of the 6 different scorers for Morocco, 3 in each half. El Mesra, Soud, Ras El Feni in the first half, Bakali, Boumous and Burit getting the goals in the second. 6-0, Morocco's first ever win at a Futsal World Cup final. A confirmation that Morocco take control of the group after the opening game. Portugal against Thailand to come. Top 2 go through, plus the 4 best third-place teams. So with 3 points on the board already, Morocco well placed, you would feel, and they'll be confident they can make it through to the round of 16. So in Kaunas, the opening game in Group C, as Morocco took on the Solomon Islands. Neither side had ever made it through from the group stage into the knockout stages. In fact, Morocco had never won a game at a World Cup finals. Solomon Islands had fared slightly better with one victory, and it was the side from Oceania that got us underway. But it was a very pacey start from the Moroccans, who went in front. Soufiane El Mesra with the opening goal of the game in the first few minutes, and that really set the tone for the rest of the match. Soud, who'd scored 4 in the qualifying campaign, was on hand to found a fairly simple goal beyond Anthony Tallow, the goalkeeper, who did make a number of good saves in the game as well, although he couldn't keep that one out. Idris Ras El Feni shot going straight through his legs, probably one he should have saved. 3-0 at half-time. Morocco kept pressing in the second half. Solomon Islands did tighten things up a little. Burit went close with a shot that came back off the goal frame. Movement was excellent off the ball. And one of the best goals of the game coming from Bilal Bakali, picking the ball up with his back to goal. Brilliant touch and turn, and beyond Tallow. Hisham Goiga, a very experienced coach, delighted with his side's performance. That was the best save Chiari had to make too, Didai Osafallo. Only 4 shots on target in the whole match for the Solomon Islands. Burit fed Otman Boumous, who got his goal after working hard in the build-up to plenty of the other goals. Stabbed in beyond Tallow once again as he was allowed too much space. And then the scoring completed by Soufiane Burit, who deserved his goal as well, as the hooter went on a 6-0 win for Morocco, their first win in a Futsal World Cup finals. So the second match in Group C to come, Thailand against Portugal coming up very soon. But from us all now here in Kaunas, it's bye for the moment.
And players to watch, Thailand, player